Hello, it's been a while. As the title of the video says, I have read a book. Now, what does that mean? Why am I making a video about this? So, for a while, I decided that making the same videos about, oh, I hit the gym, oh, I did some arm wrestling, it gets pretty boring. It's not interesting to watch, and who the fuck cares? I did work out today, but again, who cares? And so, yesterday, I got this little idea to just make some videos whenever I do something that I find to be cool. And currently, my biggest achievement of these recent times is I managed to finish this book, which you cannot read the name because it's flipped. Now, I've read through plenty of books throughout my life. Plenty. But I've only finished about 5. The first one was a Robin Hood book that I got in 4th grade for doing well in school. I got it for free. And I read it and it was fun. And then for probably like 5 years, I read a little bit from time to time. Like I would start some book, maybe for school, maybe personal interest. And I'd never finish it. Until we got to around 9th grade in literature class, I decided to finally read a little bit, become a productive student, and I ended up reading the wrong book. 400 pages. Don Quixote. I read the wrong book. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was fun. And therefore, again, for a few years, that was the last book that I read. That's also around the time I started, self-improvement. And there are plenty of books in that space. And basically every single one of them, I would start, I would feel very motivated, finally time to change my life. Then like 50 to 100 pages in, that motivation and initial spark, it would kind of die down and then I just stopped reading it. And that happened a few times, maybe like 5 to 10 books, same exact thing. And I'm glad that that's history. And I did actually read another book maybe by the end of like 11th grade, I'm pretty sure, like a summer break. But it was this big and it was 70 pages. So some people could read that in like 3 hours. I'm not really gonna count it. And then we're finally getting into recent times. So the last time I read a book, probably my 4th one that I've actually finished throughout my life, was last summer. It was a gift from my cousins. I read it from time to time. I read it on our way to Turkey and back. And it was a fun book. I think it's a really good book. Like the advice felt really nice, but the things that it talks about, I guess they just don't fit with who I am. It was basically about positivity and how your thoughts, they shape the world around you. Basically, think good things, like have good thoughts here and good things will happen. It's the premise of it. But those kind of wishy-washy books, I'm not like, it gets old, you know you get tired of looking in the mirror and like visualizing yourself as some fucking dream life. Uh, It just doesn't stick with me, I guess. But it's a good book. It's definitely a good book. And now finally, we get to this bad boy. So this bad boy is actually one of those self-improvement books that I bought probably 2 or 3 years ago. And I did read a bit. I did read like probably 30 pages. I just left it in my fucking drawer. I didn't open it since. But I was feeling a little bored like a month ago, and I just saw it and I started reading. And yeah, it's taken probably a month and a half. Some days I would read like 4 or 5 pages. I would read on this bed lying down I would read outside, like as I'm playing with my cats. Just a little bit. Maybe one day I'll read, maybe one day I won't. But it was like a little habit, I guess, that I picked up. Because this particular book I think is really nice. It's called Atomic Habits. It says it here in the text. What I like about it is like it's practical, but it doesn't feel like a magical book. Like it's not something that it doesn't promise to change your life. It doesn't promise to solve all your problems. It's just the author, who sounds like a really chill guy. He is good at like making habits, keeping habits, doing the same things over and over for a long time. And he just made a book on how to do those things like him, and how to like just get good at stuff by doing them every single day for a little bit at a time. He teaches you how to make it easier to do those things, how to be more consistent with those things, what to do if you actually fail for a few days. Just, it's nothing too revolutionary, I guess, but it's a nice read. It has made changes in my life for sure. I mean, the reason I'm doing this thing with my channel in the first place is I decided that basically what he says in the book is it's easier to do things the more reasons you have. Like, it's good to sort of reward yourself for doing good things. And I decided that a way to reward myself for doing something, that I find cool is to make a video about it. That way, I have something to do with this channel. It doesn't just rot. It can be like a time capsule. When I did cool stuff, I can like revisit something cool from a month ago, from half a year ago. And again, I don't even promise that like I'll stick to this 100%. It just seems like a fun idea, like on the spot. So yesterday, as I was reading like some of the last pages in the book, I decided, okay, when I finish it, I'll make a video. And yeah, here I am. So the reason I'm making this video is because I was inspired by the book in a way. And in the future, when I do something else that I think is nice, I'll probably make a video about it. And funny thing, as I was reading this book, I've actually read another book and a half during the process of me reading this. But the difference is, this is like a self-improvement, like practical book. And as I was reading it, I was feeling a little bored one night, like I couldn't sleep because it was a massive storm. And I downloaded a PDF file of a fantasy book, let's call it. It's like a fictional book. I read 400 pages. Like, it was 500 pages on my e-reader, like the PDF, every page, but paperback, like a proper book. I checked, it's 400 pages of content. I read it in 5 days. This book, that's 300 pages, took me a month and a half. So it's kind of interesting to think about, because the book that I read, I won't say its name because I'm a little ashamed, but it's kind of close to being like a swap book. Kind of close. It wasn't. I really enjoyed it. I think the story was great. I binged it in 5 days. But it's not a book that I would read and make a video like, hey guys, I read this book. That's what I'm trying to imply. So it's interesting how, like, a practical book like this, it's a little slower to read because it kind of challenges you. Like, you see some cool ideas, maybe you try to like use them a little bit in your life. You try to actually see some changes from the book. Meanwhile, when it's just a fucking fictional story, you just get addicted to the story and you keep reading until it ends. So yeah, and I also started another book that's very similar to the one I read, like the fictional one. But halfway through, like 160 pages, it's getting a little boring. Like, it's a little swap. So for now I've stopped reading it. And another thing I wanted to mention is now that I finished this one, I don't know what to actually read next because I don't have the most interesting books in my house at the moment. And I'll have to think about it because I have one book. It's probably the first self improvement book I ever got at a bookstore. But I've got some bad memories because I've tried to read it like 3 times. But that was back in the day when I was too invested into the whole thing, and every time I bought a book, I would think, okay, this is gonna change my life. I'll just fucking read it, I'll absorb every single thing in the book, like every little sentence, every cool thought. I'll absorb it, I'll apply it, like that kind of thing where you read a book and then you take notes about what was good and like try to remember it and reread the book twice, 3 times. That sort of thing is a massive headache, but I did something like that back in the day, and some of my friends might remember it as the period when I didn't talk to anybody because the book is called Your Ego is the Enemy. It basically talks about that you need to be a little more quiet, that you shouldn't share all of your plans before you've actually done the things. You should kind of be a little more reserved, you know, don't show everything to the world, like let your actions speak for themselves. And I just stopped speaking. I wouldn't talk to my friends, like they would fucking make jokes and I would try not to laugh and I would just be stone cold, and it wasn't fun. But I'm different now, I think. I'll try to read it. Might be fun. I hope it's fun so that I have something to spend my time, because this is the biggest difference. Is back in the day, the book, it was just, I imagined it as a way to just cure all of my problems, like make the pain go away. Like, hey, author, please teach me how do I become a proper human, and I'll apply it and everything. But like this book in particular, it was mostly just a way to spend my time doing something productive, because it's sort of this thing like sometimes throughout your day you just don't know what to do. Like you go to work, you go to the gym, but then there's those periods of time in between, like the fewer periods, and I think how you spend them is probably one of the biggest difference makers in who you end up being. Because if you think about it, most people go to work, right? Like most people spend 8 hours a day at work. Some of those people also go to the gym. So work, gym. Now, what about the rest of the day? Like, there is time in between work and in between the gym. So everybody basically goes to work. You know, some majority. Let's think about this because it's probably applying to us. Everybody goes to work. They also go to the gym, but the space like in between those blocks, it kind of determines, you know, who is successful, who isn't, who is happy, who isn't, who is fucking barely surviving, who is thriving. You know what I mean? It's like this fewer time in between work, in between gym. It's the difference maker between people, I believe. And I've been spending this time really poorly for a while. I've had too much time on my phone recently. I hate to admit, but it's true. Like I've consumed a bit too much YouTube Shorts, but now I won't talk about it too much. But I've kind of like taken care of it for now, and I do intend to read a bit more because it's nice to be able to spend just some chill time. Like I'm basically doing nothing, right? I'm not working. I'm not doing anything hard. I'm just chilling in my bed. I've got a fan blowing, you know, cold air at me, and I'm just reading. It's basically the same as just lying down and like scrolling, but the difference is it feels good. At the end of the day, I don't feel ashamed about it. It doesn't like make me feel worse about myself. And after some time, probably the main difference is You can spend a month scrolling every day for 30 minutes or a month reading every day for 30 minutes. Let's put like a magical example. Every single day that passes by, like the difference won't be so big until the last day of the month comes and then you've actually finished an entire book. Meanwhile, when you watch the YouTube shorts or the Instagram reels, what is the achievement? Like, hey, I watched 5,000 individual shorts this month. Well, that's not something that you can make a video about. But hey, I read this book, it was nice. I enjoyed it, I learned some things. It has made a change in my life. I'll try to implement it, I'll try to remember it and like keep this momentum. Well, that's a video. So, yeah, this was a bit of a rant, but honestly, it felt nice because I am not like forcing myself to record. I just like when I feel something is cool and I'm proud of myself, I'll make a video. And this is probably something I should have said at the start, but uh, this isn't gonna be like, I don't want it to be like a lie, because I'll only be uploading videos at the like peaks, I guess, like at the cool moments. In between the videos, there might be bad moments. I might do some bad things. I might not be the best, which is normal. I mean, we all make mistakes. But I'm just saying, I'll be uploading the highlights. So the stuff in between, it might not be the best. It might be the best. Like, who knows? But I don't want it to look like, I don't want it to be fake. There's real life happening in between the videos. I'll just post about the cool shit.